For the closing session, we will be guided and moderated by Ms. Ruth Charo, who works for the World Bank as a senior education specialist in education global practice of the World Bank. I must add a line there that she's also the task team leader that takes care of the RSIF project from the World Bank side. She has worked on education and health operations for over 18 years, mainly in East African region, and currently leads and co-leads a number of national and regional operations in basic education and skills development. She recently led analytical work to inform reforms in higher education in Kenya. She has a bachelor's degree in education from Kenyatta University in Nairobi, Kenya, a Master of Science in Public Health and Epidemiology from the same university, and a Master of Arts in Education from the University of London. Ladies and gentlemen, our moderator for the closing session, Ms. Ruth Charo. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, Boniface. I'm humbled by your introduction. And good morning, good afternoon to all participants, depending on where you're connecting from. A very warm welcome again to the RSIF conference, and on behalf of the PASET structure, CCP, and the World Bank, we most sincerely thank you for the active participation that we've had in each of the sessions. We've learned a lot from you, and we have very good takeaway messages to reflect on. As we begin the closing session, allow me to reemphasize the critical importance of RSIF. I strongly believe RSIF is a very unique and I think an historic opportunity for African countries as well as the development partners to train doctoral students in high quality PhDs. And as we've heard throughout the conference, RSIF needs to think about training a caliber of a scholar that can actually engage and solve the day-to-day development challenges facing the communities in Africa. And I think this is a great challenge to all of us who are engaged in the management and delivery of the vision of RSIF, that the participants here, the stakeholders, are really looking for an outstanding scholar, not the regular doctorate graduate. And I do believe this is doable if we are able to action a number of the very important insights that we have received from the various sessions. From the side of the bank, as Madam Safa mentioned during the opening session, we can't overemphasize the importance of tertiary education and the consequences of not investing in the same, be it the loss of talent. We've already begun to see what these young people can come up with and innovate through the first and second cohort, or the limited access to applied research capacity, and just the lack of skills in solving the various emerging problems and leveraging opportunities, including in the digital space and the green economy. So there's every reason and justification that we can emphasize on the need to invest in tertiary education, and not forgetting the research and innovation ecosystems, which unfortunately in most of our countries are not linked. We have a fragmented system that looking at higher education, and a different arm of government is looking at research. And we did hear from this session the need to ensure these ecosystems are working seamlessly. We're going to get some preliminary key takeaways from the 2 days conference sessions from Ms. Cynthia Orango, who is an officer from the BioInnovate ICIPE, As those who've just coming from the last sessions, you will agree with me, it's very rich discussion, and the team has to sit, listen again to the recorded messages and reflect on the key messages and actions that we need to move forward with support of the relevant PASET structure. So what Cynthia is going to highlight are the preliminary key takeaways. Otherwise, we'll sit, listen again, reflect, and share with you for your further input a comprehensive set of key messages and proposed actions. Allow me to invite Cynthia.
Thank you, Ruth. Okay, so I hope I am audible enough.
Yes.
Well, thank you. Distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for your active participation on these 2 days that we've been having this pre-conference. I seek your indulgence as I read out the key takeaway points for this virtual pre-conference. The 2021 RSIF virtual pre-conference under the theme African-led Science, Technology and Innovation for contributing to the Sustainable Development Goals and stimulating global development was held from the 15th to the 17th November of 2021 virtually, with the objectives to, firstly, discuss the role of STI in global development, including through examples such as the COVID-19 pandemic. Secondly, to share emerging lessons from the RSIF model on how to strengthen doctoral training, research, and innovation in Africa with a focus on the sandwich training model. Thirdly, to highlight best practices in science funding and showcase RSIF as a high return on investment program. And fourthly, discuss resource mobilization for RSIF's endowment fund. The event was organized by the RSIF Regional Coordinating Unit, the International Center of Insect Physiology and Ecology, ICIPE, in collaboration with University Mohamed VI Polytechnic, that is UM6P, a PASET international partner institution. The main hybrid RSIF conference is scheduled to take place in May 2022 at UM6P in Bengur, Morocco. The meeting was attended by over 450 participants connecting virtually from within Africa, Europe, Asia, and North America. The participants represented key STI stakeholders, including government representatives, African University Vice Chancellors, faculty and students, the private sector, development partners, and the media. The meeting highlighted the key challenges and successes to date by the African-led flagship Regional Scholarship and Innovations Fund program, a program of the Partnership for Skills in Applied Sciences, Engineering and Technology, including, firstly, 184 PhD students from 21 countries have been awarded scholarships, with a further 100 expected in the 4th cohort in January 2022. These are largely funded by African governments. The first 2 students have now completed their studies. MOUs have been signed with 19 international partner institutions to support capacity building and research focused on African challenges. We also have 15 African host universities competitively selected to participate in the capacity building, research and innovation in line with PASET priority areas. 14 research and innovation grants have been awarded, with a further 23 in progress to develop innovation capacity and research excellence in partnership with the international partners and the private sector. And lastly, 9 African countries, the European Union, South Korea, and the World Bank are now directly contributing to RSIF, while many other African countries are in the process of joining. The meeting recognized the need to firstly adopt fit-for-purpose technologies for Africa that are easy to deploy and use to tackle emerging issues such as the COVID-19 pandemic and other infectious diseases, given the challenging landscape in the region. Secondly, for Africa to invest in digital spaces as the new laboratory ecosystem to enable students and researchers interact and innovate ideas for key development problems. Thirdly, to prioritize support to postdoctoral fellows to enhance retention within Africa and accelerate research that is impact-oriented. And fourthly, to develop an efficient and sustainable funding model for the STI sector of optimizing on regional collaboration and international partnerships. The meeting participants agreed on the need for African governments and development partners to prioritize allocation of resources to support research and innovation development for the continent in line with the Khartoum decision of 1% GDP and CSR 2024 to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Support to initiatives such as the African-led PASET RSIF is crucial to supporting upskilling in priority fields in applied sciences, engineering, and technology. African governments to provide the necessary ecosystems that enhance innovation and commercialization of research results through both incubation and capacity building. Thirdly, industry partners, academic institutions, and capacity building programs should consider awarding at least 10% of apprentices to postdoctoral graduates for their professional and research advancement for the benefit of sub-Saharan Africa societies and the population. And fourthly, the need to be more proactive towards responding to key African challenges, such as the COVID-19 pandemic, using STI for human capital development. A rich session was held on the RSIF Endowment Fund that provided important inputs for structuring the fund and for guiding the process prior to its establishment. The conference further affirms the commitment of the RSIF network and partners to, first of all, ensure RSIF PhD students, both men and women, are embedded into well-defined communities of practice for knowledge sharing, value addition, and capacity building. Students should directly contribute to the needs of communities around them by providing impactful solutions. Secondly, update the RSIF research strategy to serve as a framework to strengthen STI in PASET member countries in the post-COVID-19 period. And thirdly, to promote science funding in Africa and the establishment of an endowment fund, affirming the leadership of African governments in collaboration with private sector and development partners to establish and sustain this initiative. Just to thank you all for your participation and kind attention. Back to you, Ruth.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. Very much appreciated. I do agree on the call that was made during the various sessions. Sorry, I can't turn on my video, Boniface. So in case people are wondering why I can't show my face, I think someone turned it off. Thank you. Yeah, I was saying, based on some of the key takeaways that Cynthia has read, we did hear from the various sessions the need to expand the RSIF thematic areas, including to postdoc. Of course, this is related to the ability to mobilize resources. And we've just come from a very enriching session where various options and models have been shared, which through the PASET structures will be able to reflect on this. At the same time, the need to build resilience and high quality university institutions with visionary leaders was emphasized. So as we put effort on the resource mobilization, we'll also work together to ensure we are building university leadership that can move our institution to a higher level, and collectively then we believe we'll achieve the PASET vision. Our second speaker for the closing session is Dr. Moses Osiro on behalf of Dr. Segnet, CEO ISIPE. Over to you, Moses.
Thank you very much, Ruth, Chairperson. I think we at the RCU are very excited to reach the end of this conference, not just to reach the end, but to successfully reach the end. And the success is based on the participation of all of you, which we much appreciate. So on behalf of Dr. Segenet Kelamu, Director General and CEO of ISIPE, we wish to most sincerely thank all participants for being with us over the last 2 for the main conference, and 3 days for those who started on Monday with us, the Vice Chancellors, the IPIs, and the AHUs. We believe that with your help, we have well tackled the key objectives of the conference. I won't mention them again because Cynthia has just done so. We have received rich guidance that we need to reflect on, and we also look forward to collaborating with all of you to take forward the recommendations and the outcomes of these discussions as we move towards the main conference next year. Please allow me on behalf of Dr. Segenet Kelamu and our team to thank all the moderators, the rapporteurs, the chairs, but also the events management team that we have worked with, who have made this a truly rich conference. We were not very sure how a virtual conference would work, but now we have confidence and we know it is possible to have a rich virtual experience and achieve our objectives. Please allow us also to thank the 11 African governments that make up PASET, and specifically to thank the PASET Governing Council Chair, Dr. Valentine Maria, the Minister of Education of the Government of Rwanda, and the Executive Director of the PASET Executive Board, Professor Minata Diallo, for the visionary leadership, but more importantly, because we work very closely together, and we want to thank them for the vision and the will to implement the program. We thank the government of South Korea and the European Union for the funding support and the partnership, and certainly not least the World Bank. Please allow me to thank specifically Safa, who is here with us and will speak later, and Ruth for the collaborative work, and also others who are not here. Sajita, Ekwa, Gang E at the PASET Secretariat, for the engagement with the program. You have indeed acted as a catalyst, both for the governments, but also for all the other stakeholders within the STI ecosystem. I wish to use this opportunity also to thank specifically the entire RSIF RCU team here at ISIPE. A lot has been happening behind the scenes, and I wish to convey that appreciation to the entire team. I think some of us are the face of the unit, but nothing is possible without the entire team. Finally, allow me to thank our co-host, UM6P, through its president, Prof. Hashim Habti, for co-organizing this conference, for the engagement. I think your team has been excellent, and we look forward to working with them as we move towards the main conference. Finally, Quanzu is a Chinese philosopher. In 3 BC, he said, when you want to plan for a year, sow seeds. If you want to plan for a decade, plant trees. But if you want to plan for life, train and educate men, and I put in brackets, and women, so in this case, mankind. So this is RSIF's agenda, and we look forward to working with all of you. But importantly, we look forward to seeing you all in person or virtually for the conference in Morocco next year. Thank you very much, and over to you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Dr. Moses. And next, we are going to hear from Professor Hicham Habib, President, Mohamed VI Polytechnic University, UMFC. UM6P, 6P. Sorry. Welcome, Professor.
Thank you, Ruth. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for your kind words, and thank you for the summary you have just done about this very rich conference. So, hi everyone, I'm Hicham El Habti. I'm the president of the University Mohamed VI Polytechnic from Morocco. Firstly, I would like to thank you for all your effective contributions and insights regarding the current COVID situation that directly impacted our lives since March last year, and more specifically our education systems. As you know, there was a lockdown nearly all over the world, and there was a huge impact of our education system. But it was for me a great opportunity for all of us to learn from this situation and to be more resilient. I want to highlight what's happening in Africa and the contribution that science can make to global development and the SDGs, with the support of some great initiatives and programs, such the one we are talking about, the RSIF doctoral scholarships. I do agree with what Dr. Moses just said about if we want to build, we need to invest on education and training. And this is the goal and the main goal of this program. And this is just a great contribution of everyone within this program to the development of our continent and beyond our continent, Africa, is the world. As you know, this program fits perfectly with our African scientific capacity building model. And our vision at UM6P is to strengthen research and innovation in Africa. This is the vocation that was given to the university from day one. The reason why we believe that together, hand in hand in this network, we can create a resilient research system by establishing a permanent fund. And so it's an invitation from my side to everyone, to the African government, to the industries, to create this permanent fund that can sustainably support applied scientific and engineering research in priority thematic disciplines that are relevant to the economic growth to the continent, such as the climate change, the food security, the sustainable industrializations, the renewable energy, and the development of human capital, and so on and so forth. I would like also to mention that our goal at UM6P is to train the Africa's future scientific leaders. As any international partner institutions of PASET RSIF, we encourage all the scholars to join our main campus here in Ben Guerir and benefit from our ecosystem and world-class living labs. So we invest a lot in a very high quality equipment and labs, and it's an open invitation to all the scholars to connect with the team here and to come to Ben Guerir. You are more than welcome to work hand in hand with our faculty, with our postdoctoral students, with our PhD students to leverage on those capacities. I want to thank all the organizers. I want to thank the team from UM6P, that all the people who work very hard to organize this event, which is a huge success for everyone. And just finally, I would like to welcome you in advance at our campus in May 2022. Looking forward to hosting you all here in Ben Guerir. So thank you again, thank you so much. And yeah, inshallah, next May 2022 here in Ben Guerir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. And indeed, we are very grateful for the genuine concern we have observed from UM6P since the inception of the RSIF, and also for your quick adaptability and flexibility when the decision was made to change this conference from face-to-face to a virtual conference. We are more than grateful for your continued support. Allow me at this point to welcome Madam Safa El Kogari, Practice Manager at the World Bank. Safa.
Thank you very much, Ruth. Thanks to everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to join you again at the closing of this conference, the first RSIF pre-conference. Over the past couple of days, there was really good discussion covering various themes and areas. And among those, I'd like to highlight 5 that I think are important that you have discussed and points that you have agreed on. First, I think it is really critical to adopt the fit-for-purpose technologies for Africa that are easy to deploy and use. Therefore, I agree with you, it is important to ensure that the PhD research that is conducted by the scholars is relevant to the needs of Africa. At second point, and at the same time, it's important to support postdoctoral fellows to accelerate their research and to find mechanisms to support the research uptake, because the research itself is not going to be useful unless it's uptaken by policymakers and by industries. As we know, a lot of excellent research remains in the shelves of libraries. This would require, among other things, increased investments on digital spaces to promote shared exchange of ideas, innovative ideas, to grow them, to share them, and also to ensure that the RSIF PhD students link well with structured networks and communities of practice. I agree that an update of the RSIF strategy is going to be important to inform science, technology, and innovation in the member countries. And my 5th point is the discussion around sustainability. I understand that various models were presented to RSIF, which could be explored. But as you know, funding alone is not sufficient. It's really important that the quality of the programs are of top-notch level and that there is visionary leadership in the universities. African governments and development partners will need to prioritize the allocation of resources to support research and innovation development. And industry partners should be engaged much more, as ultimately they are the users of the skills and research. Ladies and gentlemen, as an African woman, I cannot reiterate enough the importance of closing the gender gap and giving women an equal chance at succeeding in all fields, but especially in science, technology, engineering, and math. In an age of increasing digitalization, climate change concerns, health crises, as we've seen with COVID, Africa has to use every potential human capital to tackle these challenges. And I strongly believe that female scientists will add to the diversity of those thoughts and innovations in the field. I was deeply impressed yesterday by the research experience of Ms. Sylvia Maina. I hope I pronounced your last name correctly, Sylvia. Sylvia is from the first cohort, and I'm sure will lead the academic collaboration in the field in the future, and will also serve as a good role model as a female scientist. Let's use people like Sylvia to spread the word, to encourage women to invest their time and energy in STEM fields. RSIF recognizes that supporting these female researchers to perform to their highest potential requires deliberate and sustained efforts, and will continue to level the playing field and ensure equal opportunity for women and men in science, technology, engineering, and math fields. Ladies and gentlemen, I have great hope for our continent, and it is programs such as RSIF that will create the leaders who will take us forward. As you may have seen from this pre-conference, RSIF is a significant initiative in the Africa region and will have an important impact on the long-term development of both higher education and the economy in the region. I just want to share with you some numbers in terms of how we view programs at higher education and the critical role of support can look like. At the World Bank, we have been committing a lot of our resources to higher education agenda in Africa. We will continue to support RSIF among other projects. We are currently supporting 20 African governments, investing 587 million in more than 70 African centers of excellence across more than 50 universities in Africa. The aim is to address critical gaps in capacity, knowledge, and skills in science and technology fields. There is a critical role for governments, for industry, for all partners to support this. And we will continue to support narrowing the gap in priority sectors in the region. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank the experts, government representatives, RSIF scholars who have shared their insights and experiences over these important topics. My special thanks goes to the Regional Coordination Unit at ICIPE for the excellent organization of the event, and also to my colleagues at the World Bank for supporting the ICIPE team. Thank you, Dr. Hapti and the Mohammed VI ICIPE. Morocco is one of my favorite countries, and I look forward to visiting again. Thank you to all of you who have participated in this conference. I look forward to seeing you again at the main hybrid RSIF conference scheduled to take place in May 2020. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Safa, for the remarks. Allow me to invite our last speaker, a lady I admire greatly, Professor Minata Diallo, who is also the PASET Executive Board Chairperson, to speak to us, but also to officially close this conference. Welcome, Professor Minata.
Merci beaucoup, Ruth. Dear Valentine Maria, Minister of Education, Rwanda and PASET Governing Council Chair, representative of African governments, Safa Kogari, Education Practice Manager, Eastern and Southern Africa Region, World Bank. Dear Segenet Kelemu, Director General and CEO, ICIPE, Mr. Isham El Abdi, the President UMCP, distinguished delegates and session speakers, ladies and gentlemen across the globe, greeting from the day. I'm particularly excited with the proceeding of this first RSIF conference. I believe that this conference met its overall goals. We discussed the role of PCI in global development, including through such as the COVID-19 pandemic. We have shared emerging lessons from the RSIF model on how to strengthen doctoral training, research and innovation in Africa, with a focus on the foundation training model. We have highlighted the best practice in science funding and showcase RSIF as a high return on investment program and reduces mobilization on international. Please allow me to thank all the speakers and panelists for their valuable contribution to the RSIF virtual pre-conference. It is due to your excellent inputs and contribution that have made the gathering effect. I also wish to thank Dr. Valentine Maria, the Honorable Minister of Education, Rwanda, the Chair of the PASET Governing Council, for our strategic leadership. I also thank the African government for their leadership to the RSIF initiative. Over the past days, we have discussed the important role of science, technology, and innovation plays for economic development and social progress. It has been noted that to make progress in global development, it is crucial that solutions must be developed, scaled up, and disseminated using the untapped potential of new and rapidly developing technologies. To bridge this gap, the RSIF Doctoral Scholarship Program is training world-class priority disciplines and generating a critical mass of highly skilled research and innovators need to increase the use of science, technology, and innovation for sustainable growth in sub-Saharan Africa. The COVID-19 pandemic, on the other hand, among its many impacts, brought to the fore the importance of SDGs for Africa's survival and well-being. It also accelerates various innovations, especially in the field of medicine, vaccine research, biotechnology, digital technologies, and artificial intelligence. Notably, scientific discovery and partnership intensified, and this has greatly enhanced open science. This global epidemic also exposed weak interface with policy and society, difference in capacity and access, as well as underfunded institutions, indicating the need to renovate our science, technology, and innovative systems. There are all gaps that RSIF can help to resolve. The RSIF Doctoral Scholarship Program is designed using the best practices that have emerged from ongoing programs globally, adopting science training. This hybrid model takes scholars from their own countries to an African North University, where they are initiated into research working directly on challenges facing the continent. The RSIF approach enhances the engagement of academia and industry and is critical for strengthening of knowledge leading to economic growth. Sandwich programs expose students to two research cultures, that of their own institution and that of the sandwich placement. This can provide valuable comparative insight that can read this content. Retention is most critical, RSIF. RSIF has demonstrated the doctoral scholarship program is a high return on investment program. By January 2022, RSIF will have awarded over 280 PhD scholarships, and the scholars spread across in 15 African North universities. In addition, RSIF scholars have made remarkable contributions to the body of knowledge by publishing their research work in high-quality peer journal articles and presenting papers in international conferences. A total of 59 journal articles and conference papers have been published by the scholars in the 5 thematic areas. It is remarkable for such a young program. There is also growing support by African government, with 9 countries committing investment in RSIF. In addition, the government of Korea, World Bank, and the European Union have also invested in RSIF, alongside private sector's partners, including Nestlé, South Africa, and the Samsung Dream Scholarship Foundation, who are supporting joint research activities. Extensive discussions were held during the pre-conference on science funding in Africa, and especially the permanent fund that is being established by PASET government, as well as innovative fundraising strategies to reach funding partners. It is envisaged that this fund will sustainably support applied scientific and engineering research in sub-Saharan Africa universities. In conclusion, we wish to celebrate PASET RSIF achievements that have demonstrated to date that the RSIF model is working and that the model will lead to increase the stock of highly skilled scientists, professionals, vital for transformation to knowledge economy. We wish to commit to the task ahead and support RSIF as it continues to address global goals through generation of world-class scholars and contribution for the body of world-class knowledge, in addition to give support in the identification of new avenues for collaboration. We hold ourselves accountable and translate the work of the past 3 days into action that deliver results. With that, ladies and gentlemen, dear participants, I declare close the Regional Scholarship Innovation Fund pre-conference. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Diallo, for very passionate plea on RSIF and the overall Pan-African science agenda. As Safa and the other speakers have said, we are all committed and hopeful of the vision that the PASET has to enhance research and innovation in Africa. With this, on behalf of the ICIPE, the PASET structures, the World Bank, and all our speakers, we most sincerely thank you for attending the pre-conference. We do hope we'll see all of you in Morocco, the Almighty willing, next year in May 2022. On the chat, we are putting a link where all the presentations are going to be available, as well as the recordings. Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are connecting from. And as we say in Kenya, asante sana, kwaheri. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Merci Ruth pour cette belle modération et vos propos aimables lors de cette cérémonie de clôture. On apprécie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth. Thank you, Professor Diallo. Thank you, Professor Hapti. Thanks to everyone again. Goodbye.
Merci.